But let's jump right into the newscast while Tara argues with weather.com.
Yeah, I'll win. Don't worry.
Caitlin, what do we got today?
All right, so first for local news, as COVID-19 cases begin to rise, there is no evidence of in-classroom transmissions. According to NJ.com, Governor Murphy said that at a coronavirus press briefing, it is believed the students and teachers who tested positive all got the coronavirus outside of school, and no one they came into contact with in the classroom has contracted COVID-19. As the state begins to open up with restrictions being lifted, Murphy believes there is a relatively low chance of any significant spikes in COVID-19 cases. For national news, as fires continue to burn through California, they are now reaching once tranquil areas. According to the New York Times, by Monday afternoon, haze had spread across much of the country and could be seen over New York and Washington, D.C. Places such as Oregon and Idaho are also being evacuated as unpredictable wind gusts threaten to spread the fire. For international news, there are new signs of rapid climate change in Greenland. According to AP News, an enormous chunk of Greenland's ice cap has broken off in the far northeastern Arctic. Geological Survey of Denmark and Greenland professor Jason Bach said, quote, "We should be very concerned about what appears to be progressive disintegration at the Arctic's largest remaining ice shelf." End quote. The area's ice losses for the past 2 years each exceeded 19 square miles. On a different note, for international news, rare turtles known for their permanent smiles have been saved from extinction in Myanmar. According to the Good News Network, the Burmese roof turtles were thought to be extinct in the 1990s. However, biologist Dr. Kuchling and the Wildlife Conservation Society organized and executed a conservation stewardship program for the Upper Chinwen River, where a handful of females still nested during the dry season. Thanks to the subsequent efforts from the WCS and the Turtle Survival Alliance, approximately 1,000 of the turtles have been successfully raised in captivity and are soon to be released into the wild. The species now faces, quote, little danger of biological extinction, end quote. And for weather, in Montclair, New Jersey, it is currently 52 degrees with a high of 69 degrees and a low of 51 degrees. There is a 10% chance of rain today, and we will have 67% humidity with a sunset at 7:04 p.m. That concludes your news update for September 15th, 2020.
It is cold. Like, let's be honest, it's
It's
cold.
chilly.
I'm wearing jeans this
Yeah.
morning. Like, this is the first
Nice.
time I've worn
Getting there.
jeans since March, I want to say, maybe before that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very cold right here in not here in Montclair. Caitlin just gave you the weather from Montclair, but in Newark, where I live, it is currently 54 with a high of 69 and a low of 53. It looks like for the most part the day is going to be a little bit sunny. What about you over there in Happy Valley, Tara?
In Happy Valley, Cedar Grove, it is 51 and sunny. Looks like it's going to go up to about 72. And this is, I like how it's like low temperature of 52 degrees, and right now it's 51 degrees.
Yeah. Before
we're breaking new boundaries here.
Before we go into this first story, I want to share this little turtle right here.
Oh, look at him.
Just
if you're watching us on Facebook Live, which you can, by the way, on
you can
WMSC's
see
Facebook.
This Burmese turtle. It's so cute. It's
He's adorable.
Now that's enough of the turtle.
All right.
Enough of the
turtle.
That's all you get.
That's all the free airtime you get. You're not ADJ trained.
You get one free. But let's move into this story from the Chicago Tribune. Interestingly enough,
everybody likes to talk about New Jersey, man. Listen, if people are talking about you, that just means you're the main character, right?
Exactly. This is a conversation we had. But New Jersey voters, as the headline says, weigh on putting pot legalization in the Constitution. So this has been something we've been talking about here in the state for what feels like a few years now. It's
been almost as far back as I can remember being aware of like local politics. This has been something that's been talked about in New Jersey.
So this is a constitutional amendment that has been proposed to legalize recreational marijuana. So not just decriminalize it, but legalize it entirely. The push is specifically so while we're going to not only be voting for the U.S. Senate, the House, and the President, we're also going to decide to amend the state constitution to permit those 21 and older to use marijuana. It also allows the state to set up a regulated market for the drug. If this vote were to pass, we would be the 12th state, along with Washington, D.C., to legalize recreational marijuana if the question succeeds. As of now, polls here in the state show that 3/5 of voters support legalization. Opponents are nonetheless holding out hope they can persuade voters against adopting the change. So there are two campaigns right now running in the state. One is NJCAN 2020. It's a social welfare group. It's a coalition of organizations, including the ACLU of New Jersey, the Latino Action Network, Drug Policy Action, and New Jersey Cannabis Business Association, along with others. Their argument is that it'll boost the economy by creating jobs, bringing in tax revenue for the state. They also point to the disparities in marijuana arrests, with Black residents facing arrests more than 3 times as much as white people. New Jersey and say legalization will right a social injustice. Amol Sinha, the executive director of the New Jersey, Chicago Tribune. I'd like to be able to read the newspaper.
You're good.
There we go. No, they popped up an ad, and I'm like, great, I can't see anything. But Amol Sinha, and I hope I'm pronouncing their name correctly. If I'm not, I do apologize. New Jersey has a pivotal opportunity to advance racial justice and move the state forward through marijuana legalization this November. The opponent is called Don't Let NJ Go to Pot. Greg Edwards, their executive, said the racial justice argument is persuasive, but it doesn't mean legalization is necessary. The way to deal with that is to criminalize small amounts of marijuana. Refreshing to see the opposition for once just not outright saying let's not do it, to actually specifically say, let's just decriminalize first and then from there go. But you brought this up yesterday. Why haven't they done that yet? Why haven't they pushed for that yet?
Right. Like, this has been something, again, as far back as I can remember being aware and having a political opinion of my own, has been something New Jersey's grappling with. But you can't, and this is, to me, this is like the pivotal point. And I think even some of the states that have legalized it have kind of missed the mark on the way they rolled it out. You can't legalize it in the present without decriminalizing it and starting to address the situation that disproportionate amounts of Black and brown residents have been jailed because of marijuana. And it's kind of like the conversation that the really uncomfortable other conversation that you have to have when you're talking about marijuana legalization. Like, it's fun to talk about the legal, the present day, the fun part where you're selling it and it's generating tax revenue and you can use it as recreation. But there's another conversation that needs to happen at the exact same time. And for that conversation to happen, we need to talk about how marijuana has been used as essentially a weapon against a lot of minority communities. So that's the thing, is I feel like a lot of people on both sides of the campaign not the campaign, but on both sides of the issue, don't usually bring that up,
I will say the pro side, the ACLU has a history of always being on the side of racial justice. You also have the Latino Action Network. It sounds like they're coming from the right area. The thing is, from this article, I can't see anywhere talking about the criminal records of those that were arrested for nonviolent drug offenses in terms of possession. I don't see anywhere saying about that, and I think that is something that needs to be addressed, because if you're arrested for possession, just possession, no violent crime, nothing like that, and aside from the conversation that goes into the prison system in the United States, that's a whole other mess that would take several.
We don't have that kind of time.
We don't have that kind of time. But if you're gonna be opening up businesses, if you're going to be collecting 6.62% sales tax, like any other sales tax here in New Jersey, if you're going to be also allowing towns and cities to collect an extra 2% of tax on cannabis sales,
which is all fine,
which is all good, you need to sit down and talk about the people that have been adversely affected and people that have gone to jail just for the possession of it.
I've seen this before and I just want to preface saying I didn't come up with this quote, but I've seen it when buying marijuana starts to look like the Apple Store.
Yes,
you need to start letting people out of prison. Period.
Yeah, there is a gentrification that comes with marijuana legalization. A lot of states have had reports of the fact that most businesses that open up and can legally sell marijuana tend to be white owned, and businesses that are owned by people of color tend to have a lot of issues with law enforcement. And then the thing that goes on top of that is, as well as just logistically, you can't deposit money from those business ventures at a bank. That's something people don't understand. So I worked at a bank, and we actually talked about this when the conversation really picked up steam. If we have businesses coming in that want to, if we had a business coming in that wanted to try to open that up, we can't accept them because banks operate under federal law, not
And
state level law.
right, and on a federal level, it's still
A
illegal.
federal level, even if New Jersey passes it, and even in states like Colorado where it's legal, it is still, I believe it's a Schedule 1 drug, along with things like heroin.
Which is hilarious, but anyway.
It is a Schedule 1 drug, so on the federal level, it is still legal. It is still illegal, I should say. So even if you legalize it here in New Jersey, you're still going to have problems with how do you file your taxes as a business or as an individual when it comes to the sales of cannabis and other cannabis products that aren't things like CBD that aren't legal on a federal level. How do you, do anything? How do you keep the money aside from storing it in essentially a vault
And
on
under the
site?
mattress, like, what are you supposed to do?
Like most businesses will have a vault on site and then an off-site location to store the money because they can't put it anywhere else. So even if, even if everything goes smoothly in terms of, this law passes, we actually decriminalize it, we actually have efforts from lawmakers to wipe the slate clean for people who have or been arrested for nonviolent drug offenses relating to possession and sale of marijuana. What do you do financially in that situation? Because
There's so many questions.
Apparently some of the there's an estimated $165 million in revenue that comes in from this. And as we've seen, like in Illinois, for example, there's an article here on the sidebar from the Chicago Tribune talking about the fact that their tax revenue went up in August alone. Like they collected they collected 19.2 million in tax revenue during just August, up from 38% from July, and the recreational marijuana in Illinois became legal this January, and since January they've collected 86 million in taxes over, what is it? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yes, I am counting on my fingers the months because I can't think.
Well, you're also working a couple other things.
Yeah, that's over 10 million, almost 11 million a month. And that's 19.2 in just 1 month. Like, that's a lot of money that comes in.
Right, and you'd have to find ways to route that and without.
Well, legally, in terms of taxes, that's tax revenue. The state doesn't. The state has no issue with that money coming in. Those are taxes. It's just on the business level. How do these people working these businesses, there needs to be on a national level more of a push if this is going to be, because it's only a matter of time before all 50 states legalize it. Some states will obviously lag behind because they're more conservative leaning, but we already have, as the article said, New Jersey will be the 12th state along with Washington,
Right.
D.C.
Like, it's not a radical idea anymore. It's just
No.
kind of, we're waiting on people to get up to speed. And listen, we have friends out in Seattle and been out there. Like, it's Seattle functions just like any other city, better than a lot of other cities, but that's a different story for a different day. But like, it's just a part of life there the same way alcohol is. It's not, it's not anything crazy or, reefer madness or anything. It's just a part of life, and it's a part of recreation, just like liquor is, And for the most part, people are good about respecting that. Like, it's very doable. It is very doable to have marijuana legal, straight up recreationally, and have it be safe and still workable.
Let us also acknowledge alcohol and cigarettes, for example, are legal, and they have some pretty negative health effects in the long term and even in the short term. So, and obviously we're not sitting here and saying like marijuana is like, it's perfect, it can't hurt.
No.
Like, it has, we've seen research that affects short-term memory, can affect brain development if you start off
Last
too
time I
early.
used marijuana, I thought I'd lost a certain body part, and
Yeah.
we'll leave that story right there because
Up
we
in
can't continue
Seattle,
it on
up
air.
in Seattle where it is legal.
Up in Winthrop, outside Seattle, where it's very
I didn't,
legal.
I didn't know. I didn't know Seattle was out of Winthrop. I thought that was only in England.
Yeah. Oh. I have a sticker right here. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, here's my sticker. It says Winthrop. But yeah, no, by the way, coming from a state where my friends used to buy it in brown baggies behind the food town in Minecraft, going to Seattle and seeing a store where marijuana is behind the counter and you're talking with a salesperson about what kind of marijuana you want is a very weird experience the first time you do it.
It's I imagine it's like
It has labels, it has barcodes.
What's the name of
it's
that?
wild.
What's the name of that fudge store down the shore in Wildwood? You know which one I'm talking about. It's got the
Oh,
Yorkie
yeah,
on
by
it.
the roller coaster.
It's got the Yorkie on it. Just
Yeah.
imagine for those of you who are trying to paint a picture, imagine that store if you've been to
Oh,
Wildwood.
suicide.
But imagine
Yeah,
that.
but I know what you mean.
Imagine like a candy store or any sort of like a pastry shop, but it's marijuana being sold. That's what
Right.
you're going to expect to see. Look, at the end of the day, I understand people may be against it, and like that's perfectly fine. My only question is, I want to know your reasons why. I want to have like for the most part, a conversation. If you are willing to have an honest conversation about your reasoning for being against marijuana as a drug.
Right. And look, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I really had nothing else to say. What were you going to say?
Look, this is to me this is we've hit a point where this transcends personal preference. Like, I don't like it. After my experiences, I'm not. The odds are pretty good that I'll never touch this stuff again because it's not it doesn't work well with me. Just like some liquors don't work well with me, and just like that, but I think we're at a point where we can't, you can't go on saying that this is illegal and deny what it's been used to do.
Here's the devil's lettuce.
Yeah. I think we need to kind of, as a society, we need to collectively move on. But speaking of moving on, let's move on.
Venus.
Oh, Venus. Oh my goodness. We're moving on very far.
This is
just like, all right, we're out of here.
We've hit our escape velocity from the orbit of Earth, and
we have. Venus. We are out of here.
But this article from the BBC is talking about recent discovery yesterday specifically, and an article titled "Is There Life Floating in the Clouds of Venus?" Now, I'm going to go into this article, and then
I just wanted to just want to get your hopes up. No, there's not.
The article starts off with what most media outlets start off with, just not sensationalizing, but really going for the headline.
Oh, it's a stupid headline, and that's the reason
it's an extraordinary possibility, the idea that living organisms are floating in the clouds in planet Venus. But this is what astronomers are now considering after detecting a gas in the atmosphere they can't explain. That gas is phosphine, a molecule made up of one phosphorus atom with 3 hydrogen atoms. On Earth, phosphine is associated with life, with microbes living in the guts of animals like penguins, or in oxygen-poor environments such as swamps. For sure, you can.
So, can I give the example I gave you last night?
Yes.
Because I think it's pretty wild. Saying that there's life on Mars. Not Mars. Wow. Sorry,
well,
David Bowie.
My bad. It's the same situation with life on Mars when we found evidence.
I have the song stuck. I have the Bowie song stuck in my head right now. That's why. But saying that there's life on Venus because we found this one element in the molecule, rather, in the atmosphere, is like walking into a room, seeing a pile of flour on the table, and saying, "Oh, there's cake in here."
This is pretty good.
Like, one piece of it's there, just one, but the rest of the cake's not there. It's just a pile of flour. Like, this is what people need to understand. Because every time something like this happens, like, we found an element that's part of life on this planet or on this moon or whatever. That is cool. But then the headline comes, "Is there life on Venus?" No.
And scientists themselves also, obviously because they're scientists and they always do their due diligence, are saying that they're researching it. So this is it was found 50 kilometers from the planet's surface, but Professor Jane Greaves from Cardiff University in the United Kingdom and her colleagues are asking the question: They published a paper in the journal Nature Astronomy, detailing their observation of phosphine at Venus, as well as the investigations they made to try to show this molecule could have a natural, non-biological origin. They still have not found a non-biological reason for why phosphine has been detected in these amounts. So a a life source deserves consideration. This is a quote from Professor Greaves. Quote, "Through my whole career, I have been interested in the search for life elsewhere in the universe, so I'm just blown away that this is even possible. But yes, we are genuinely encouraging other people to tell us what we might have missed. Our paper and data are open access. This is how science works." End quote. I mean, there it is.
Yeah.
That, like, it exists, it's there, and they put out the research and data and said, we found this. It could possibly, from the research we've done, we can't find any non-biological reason. So why is it there? Does anyone else have any help? And that's the great thing about the scientific community. They sit down and they take data, and they don't draw conclusions without, you know, a huge amount of research and a huge amount of data. And we've had a situation before where scientists try to claim something, and it turns out either, it happened to be a data connection, it happened to be a connection that wasn't significant enough. It was a correlation in that situation. Or
Right. And I'm not saying don't ask or don't pay attention to it. I'm just saying, like, I think on our end of the reporting end, we need to be a little bit more careful to, instead of just be like, is there life on Venus? Like, could have been like one of the building blocks to life has been detected. Or one of, it's just, don't go around saying things that, even though they're kind of sort of true, are not. Like, that's how you build misinformation, and it's kind of inane in this example, but
Mhm.
that's how you build a lie. You wrap it in stuff that's true. So
it's
don't
also,
do that. If you're studying to write or studying to be a journalist, don't do that.
it's also just showing how the media will take, um obviously we're media as well, but we do our due diligence, to, we find like a thing like, oh, coffee's good for you, coffee's bad for you. It's like, all right, what does the research paper actually say?
The research paper posted by Tara on the date
Dr.
of
Dr.
right now.
Dr. Tara.
Yeah, DMD. Wait, I think that would make me a dentist, wouldn't it? No, I don't want to be a dentist.
Dentists
I
can
don't
do
want to be a
dental
dentist.
research. But like the whole
But the
point of it,
paper posted by Tara says that the percolator is the best way to make coffee. Don't at me.
but like the thing that researchers will say is like, red wine's good for you, red wine's bad for you. Chocolate can cure cancer, chocolate can cause cancer. And you see in the research paper, there is some data that points to a possibility of chocolate being good or bad. Like, that's literally it. Like, these scientific papers and this research is basically like telling you like, yeah, we saw this information. Maybe it could be true, but we really need to do more research.
Right, and that gets turned into a headline that's way oversimplified. And
Chocolate cures pancreatic cancer. It's like,
right.
no, it doesn't. It's
No,
chocolate.
it really doesn't. So
Chocolate.
like here's the thing, right? Can I just stipulate, like, say this?
Yes.
If I saw a headline that was something more like building blocks of life have been found on Venus, right? I would be way more interested in this story, personally.
Would the general public be? Because you're like,
I would want to click on it. I want to know if, like, that, to me, that's enough, like, to spark my interest in it. But when I see is there life on Venus, like, that sounds like a tabloid. It doesn't sound like,
Mhm.
I don't know. That's just me. I'm a dork like that. I
No,
want
but
to
I
know more
understand
about
that
stuff.
you have an appreciation of science, like from the time that I've known you, and we've been friends. Like, you've always had an appreciation of science between just your own general curiosity and your grandfather and his
Yeah.
involvement in the space program. So,
You
like,
can't see it right now. I actually have some pictures of stuff he worked on up in my room
but
right
like,
now.
from what we've seen and what we know, personally. But Caitlin, what about you? How do you feel about just kind of like this broad statement that was made, as opposed to like, you know, what you find out is like, oh, this kind of sort of exists.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about because just like Tara said, it's very, I feel like as studying media, like you see that a lot and you see all these headlines that are just trying to like get your attention, but then you click on the story and you're like, well, that's not really matching up, but okay. And I just think that, I don't know, I feel like it's hard because they want to get the most views on like the article and stuff like that, but at the same time, like if you're somebody who actually like is genuinely interested in the topic and stuff, it just doesn't really do it justice and it's not fair. And then you read the story and you're like, that was
Yeah, and it's
Right.
kind of unfortunate how a lot of media is now geared towards clicks as opposed to trying to put out the best story you can. And even if you put out a really good story, the headline could always either tip people off or mislead people
yeah.
through no disingenuous intention, just because of the fact that, like, you know, online news is so difficult to do without a paywall that you have to find some way to bring people and bring traffic to your website.
There's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
We could if you wanted to talk about the way the internet has affected news media, we could go for days.
Yeah.
That's a
But-
long talk. That's a course. That's what that is.
Yeah.
But
It
but
might be. I don't know.
it most likely is. I mean, I know in terms of just different news courses,
That's a Dr. Keith Strudler course. It sounds like something he would teach.
yeah, or Professor Whiteside, because I know I've taken some of her course on ethics in journalism, and we did talk about things like, you know, misleading your readers and your viewers and your listeners with articles, and how that's, you know, you're towing the line with ethics at that point.
Right.
I'm not going to say this article specifically from the BBC is ethically compromised.
No, this
It's
is not a
not.
call out post.
This is more like, all right, guys, you knew what the story was about. Come on, you just got to
Yeah.
click out of me. But
Speaking of things that get clicks out of us, this next story we have.
we got some big shoes to fill. We got some
some
big shoes to fill. But
You have. Oh, why do I not have an air horn noise ready? That would
So-
have been perfect.
we're going to McDowell County, and the big thing,
Yeah.
the big thing McDowell
North
County is known
Carolina.
for is a Bigfoot. And
Lord
normally
knows
every
nothing
year,
else out there.
there really is nothing else out there. But the mountain community in McDowell is celebrating Bigfoot as the quote social distancing champ.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This article comes from WJACTV.com. WJAC is the local news thing out there.
For the local NBC affiliate, but
Right.
September is normally when people visit the area to celebrate Bigfoot, and you know, obviously Bigfoot is a cryptid, as they're called. It is a cryptozoological creature that is yet to be proved or disproven, as you can see. But instead of having people usually come in and their celebration called off in July, they did a scavenger hunt, and you can see a fun little picture of Bigfoot wearing a mask. It's like just a great picture. They're basically having people, as the article says, they will hunt for Bigfoot emblems in a scavenger hunt throughout the county. The list of emblems is available online or their county visitor center, and you go and you hunt for these things and you try to redeem them and you try to win the scavenger hunt. You take a picture of the emblem. When you get enough, you can email in for a prize. All entries, if you're for whatever reason you're in the McDowell County and you're doing the scavenger hunt, you email your entries to bigfoothuntmarion@gmail.com by September 30th. But you have the Landis Hofield with the McDowell County Tourism told WLOS, quote, Bigfoot is the social distancing champion of the world. There are a lot of traditional businesses that have been in the community for a while that are part of the hunt, and some new ones further out that are going to test people's knowledge, end quote. Which is also cool because they're including local businesses. So Bigfoot's big in terms of just a big part of culture. Just like Mothman is big in I forget which West Virginia town specifically.
Or like like the Jersey Devil, like
The Jersey
local,
Devil.
local folklore,
you know, and in I think it's in where is the Himalayas? Up in
north.
well, not north. It's in Asia, but areas like
It's
Tibet.
higher up. The Himalayas higher up than us.
But those they have their own Bigfoot. The not Sasquatch. That's
Yeti.
the Yeti, which is another.
Or if you're a wrestler from the 80s, the Yeti. None of y'all are going to get that joke.
I didn't.
But none of you at home are going to get it either, so I'm just leaving it there. But yeah, I think this is cool. Like, this is really cool to see it finding a safe way to get people involved and out of the house and without, being like, come congregate in one small space. This is cool. And it's a little tongue in cheek. And
Get people out of the house. Get people like going throughout the county, and you're partnering with the different businesses in the area, which they already partner with in general, of trying to give, make people understand, like, this is what the local area is like. We do Bigfoot, but like when you come here, like what's their Bigfoot related? And they're like, restaurants have Bigfoot themed food. Hotels are Bigfoot themed. There's a Bigfoot museum. There's so much Bigfoot that it becomes a whole industry. And this town, it's kind of like how, a shore town is all about the shore that it's on. It's all about the beach that it's
Right.
on. You go to McDowell County, it's all about Bigfoot. So
Right.
to see them
It's the
find a
aesthetic.
way, yes, it's the aesthetic. It's the theme. Today's theme is Bigfoot, as it seems. But it's an interesting and smart way for them to sit down and be like, look, we're struggling right now. Everyone's struggling right now. Let's find a way to do things safely. Let's find a way to still support our local businesses, and let's find a way to, find something for people to do to enjoy themselves and take their minds off of what has been a pretty hard time. Let's be honest. And I think, I can appreciate that, because that's what we've been doing here, not just on the Morning Buzz, but just WMSC in general. It's hard to not focus on completely stories about everything that's happening right now.
Right. It really is.
We talked about it last night, and how, as much as we're here to inform, we can inform people without, without people having to doom scroll, as it's the new term that I've heard people throwing around, where you
Right.
just scroll through all the doom on Twitter and Reddit and all the social medias out there. When
You know what would make my life better?
I don't know, someone with attitude, maybe.
Nah, how about a certificate saying I'm a Scottish lord?
Yeah, someone with attitude.
That
I
make
can't
my
say the
life
first
better.
word. I can't. No one can say that first word.
No. But for Ice Cube, today was a good day.
It was a good day. This article is from Friday, but
And this is the best because this title makes me so happy. It just does.
Ice Cube claims that he is now a certified Scottish lord. He showed fans documents of apparent new title in a recent live stream.
This is from NME.com, by the way.
Yes.
Ice Cube claimed he's now a Scottish lord after a fan gifted him a piece of land in Aberdeenshire. Companies have long sold off small pieces of land in Scotland, claiming the purchase will make the buyer lord or lady. One of the NWA rapper's fans bought him a plot of land located in Huntley from the company Established Titles. Ice Cube showed off the documents certifying him as lord on a recent live stream, saying, "Did you know that your homeboy is a real lord?"
So
Did
Let
you
me-
know?
let me
Phil?
just sit down, and I'm imagining Ice Cube
Just waking up.
just chilling on his live stream, like most people have been doing now, because of everything going on. You got to be home, got to be safe. So they're live streaming, they're interacting with fans. He's sitting there, and he's like, "Do you know your homeboy is a real lord?"
Like I was just like full record scratch stop. Like what?
And he goes on, as the article says, to encourage viewers to buy up their own land and, quote, "be a real lord like your homeboy Ice Cube," end quote. And I'm just like, oh no.
This is awesome. This is like. Could you what now? I'm short circuiting right now. Could you imagine what now the question becomes is like, what would the Ice Cube government look like? What would Ice Cube like if Ice Cube owns land, right? And he's the lord of the land. How does that shake down for everything under him? Like,
Well, you'd have serfs,
there's so many
right?
questions.
You'd have
The Ice Cube fiefdom.
fiefdom. It'd be like feudal times where
Yeah.
and so and of course
And how would he rule? Would he rule benevolently? Would he rule with? I mean,
with
we already
attitude.
know what their opinions of police forces are. So how would you maintain order?
So there is a caveat. In 2016, the Heraldry of Scotland said that you grant to a person who's granted a title should have a permanent home in the country itself. And they said it is a description rather than a title and is not appropriate for the owner of a normal resident property, far less the owner of a small souvenir plot of land. Spokesperson said to Deadline News back in 2016. Um, like, I get it. You want to make sure to clear the air. You want to make sure that, someone doesn't try to claim some sort of inheritance or some sort of financial compensation for being a lord. Like, can we have fun for like 2 minutes
Right.
without?
Can we enjoy the fact that the guy from Are We There Yet is a lord?
I forgot he did that movie.
Oh, I didn't. I wish I did.
I've never watched either of those movies, and I feel like I've definitely not missed out on anything at all. But Lord Ice Cube is just like I'm just imagining him sitting at like a throne in some Scottish castle somewhere, but like,
Well, today was a good day. Plays over the speakers.
and he's just dressed up like Ice Cube. So he's got like those button-up shirts. He's got like the cargo pants and
Yeah,
the sneakers and the hat.
but with like a cape.
With like a nice flowing cape. It's got that little trim at the bottom, but instead of being red, it's purple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Look, I don't even know what to say about this story. I saw it yesterday, and I said it to you. You saw me laughing. You heard me laughing hysterically. There was
Yeah.
a good 5 minutes where I was just silent. He also something that the article also noted. He's been along with becoming a Scottish lord and having his own fiefdom. He's also been encouraging fans and to vote in the upcoming election and said, quote, "When I said hold your vote hostage, I simply meant get something for it before you promise it to anyone. I do vote and you should too," end quote.
Which is a good reminder.
Yes.
If you're doing mail-in ballots, make sure you get that sorted out ASAP.
ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg.
No. Seriously though, if you are going to do mail-in ballots, make sure you get that sorted out as soon as possible because they're going to need time in the mail. Lord knows.
Which also something that actually reminds me of a story that yesterday, that happened yesterday. Ross Baraka, in conjunction with Prudential Center and the New Jersey Devils, announced that it's going to become a super polling site for the upcoming election. So basically, what that means is you can go to, if you live in the area and if it's in your district, and obviously because Prudential Center is so big, it allows social distancing. You can vote inside the Rock, as it's called. This movement first started with the NBA. Even before that, the St. Louis Cardinals had said that they were looking into making their stadium a polling place because of the fact that it's a really big stadium. Busch
Right.
Field is big, so to have proper social distancing and have people come vote instead of having to rely on the mail-in ballots, because we know that there have been issues with the USPS being solely sabotaged. But we already had the NBA after the Wildcat strike that the players had, refusing to play games for 2 days, receiving a promise from the NBA and NBA ownership that every NBA arena would be a polling place in the upcoming election. Now, some arenas already hold multiple sports teams. For example, where the New York Knicks play is also where the Rangers play. So, they're obviously on board with that. It'd be kind of like a conflict of interest to not be on board. But you have locations where the arenas that are being used are only being used by one team. Prudential Center is one of them, and people were questioning whether or not Prudential Center would get involved. But
Now they are.
now they are. And not only that, if you don't feel comfortable voting there, you can just drop off your ballot and cast it there, which is an even greater option. Mayor Ross Baraka said, quote, "I think this endeavor makes it easier for people to get people access for those who may want to come in and have a secure place, drop off their vote, end quote. Decision to make the Prudential Center a polling location was made in cooperation with the New Jersey Devils, the NBA Players Association, and the Essex County Board of Elections. The Devils will be providing a place to register and fill out a census starting September 22nd. Quote, to be able to serve as a one-stop shop for the upcoming election is something we are incredibly proud of and we view as an incredible responsibility for us, end quote, said New Jersey Devils president Jake Reynolds. Look, let's be real. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
And we've seen the Devils from the outset with the movement that's going on now being supporters and supporting their players who had something to say. PK Subban has been very outspoken, being a person of color as he is. Obviously, this stuff affects him directly, and the Devils have done a great job to elevate his voice. We currently have 17 NBA arenas that have decided to open for voting on Election Day. New Jersey's Secretary of State Tahisha Way applauded the move while wanting to remind everyone in New Jersey that they have until October 13th to register to vote. So if you have not yet registered to vote, I suggest you do. It is your right as an American citizen to vote. There's a reason why you put up with jury duty. It's to be able to cast your vote and make your voice heard.
Right. Listen, I level with you, listener. And I do mean you specifically, whoever's listening to this. You got no excuses at this point in the game. You've seen what happens. You've seen what the past 4 years have been like. At this point, you have no excuses. None.
Mm-hmm.
To at least make an attempt to get your vote heard.
And I will say, there are critics of the voting system in general and the way that the country works, and I understand that. I understand that completely. The Electoral College is a unique system in the sense that we do not get direct representation, direct voting. But at the end of the day, if you have the ability to vote, you should still be voting. I don't think that saying, well, I'm not able to, my vote isn't really going to matter and the person that I want to vote for isn't there, you should still be voting. I don't think.
Plus, it's exceedingly rare that Electoral College delegates go against what the popular vote is in their area. So
yeah, you
have no excuse to listen. I'm mad. I'm mad. I was mad when people in 2016 were playing around with their votes and putting it to independent people and, writing in Harambe or whatever. You've seen what happens, dude. Mm-hmm. You have no, you do you, but I'm just saying you have no excuse at this point.
Yeah. Obviously, we're not telling you who to vote for. Obviously, we're not telling you.
No, but we're just saying, as an American citizen, you have no excuse at this point.
Yeah, you have a right to vote, and you know that. And there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in this country that wish they could vote. A lot of permanent residents that wish they can vote and have their voice heard. So, you have a privilege.
Excuse.
This is a privilege. Exactly.
Caitlin,
I want to know
anything you want to say on this. I noticed you turned your mic on.
Yeah.
No, I just like what you were saying. I feel like there's no excuse, especially right now. I feel like, at least for me growing up, I don't really remember a time where there was so much encouragement to vote. And I feel like everywhere any company, a bunch of celebrities, everybody's like, go vote, use your voice. And I just think that's a really awesome thing. So definitely, if you can vote.
Totally. 100%.
Yeah. Make your voice heard, vote based on what you believe and based on, at least my opinion and how I see it. I vote based on the best for everyone and based on protecting people's rights that are more vulnerable in comparison to myself or others that may be more in a majority. So, make an educated vote if you can.
And you can.
Yeah.
But can we? There's no segue for this next story.
There isn't. And
I've tried. You got to understand, dude. I was knocking this around in my head.
There is a segue, but I can't say it because it's not FCC approved.
No, but we've been knocking this story around. I've been knocking. Hold up, let me reset. I'm short-circuited.
Zik, 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 zik.
We had the story since last night. I've been trying to knock around a segue in my head this entire time. I have nothing. Nothing.
I guess the only thing that could happen is imagine the worst bathroom experience you could have in terms of, you ate some gnarly food. You had something that just like went
You
right
had a
through
bad
you.
time, right?
No. Now,
If
ramp
you're on
that
our
up to
Facebook
11.
Live, just look at this.
Ramp that up to 11.
Yeah, because this is wonderful. This is a Huffington Post article.
Goodbye.
Runaway porta potty seen rolling down Route 66.
And
Oh man, there it goes.
I'll tell everyone on the call.
Please describe this to people that are on.
So we see
terrestrial
on
that
Route
this looks-
66 through the intersection, we see a double porta potty, one of those big ones.
It's heavy
like
duty,
sliding heavy duty.
3-ply, but it's literally just like doing the cha-cha slide down the highway.
Like I think at that point you need to tie yourself down with the toilet paper to make sure you don't move.
Yeah,
you gotta
use it as a bracing system of some type.
It wasn't flipping over. Thank the Lord for So this is
This is just gonna stay here. I'm gonna
this is in
keep repeating
Albuquerque.
this.
This is in Albuquerque in New Mexico, by the way.
On Route 66.
This happened September 10th. It's the intersection of Mother Road with Route 66. Severe gusts appear to have dislodged a mobile toilet and forced it down a journey through a road that once connected Chicago to Los Angeles.
Never-ending story.
Several motorists and passengers have caught footage of the traveling portable toilet. Some social media users posted videos of the traveling porta potty to the song "Dust in the Wind" by Kansas. My favorite part of this article: no injuries were reported, and it was unclear if anyone was inside.
Yeah, we discussed this, right? Like, that is a yes or no question. That is a yes or no question. That is not a maybe question. That is a question of, was someone in the porta potty while it was freestyling down Route 66 or not? Like, there's no maybe here. This is yes or no.
I want, like, the poor man, woman, whoever they are. If there was anyone in there, just look. If you've been stuck in a porta potty, please,
you know the struggle.
Call in.
Call in, please.
It's
wonderful, Caitlin. Seeing this video, just and hearing this, what I need to know your thoughts on this.
I'm just I can't believe this happened, but it's so funny. And like the beginning of the video says 2020 be like, and oh my God.
Look, 2020 has just been a lot of fecal matter just dragging through starting from March. So this is perfect. Mind you, we have a sidebar, we have a chat where we communicate with our producers.
And every pun that you've been thinking in your head, listeners, we've been making.
We have. Me and Ryan have both hit home runs already.
Look at this though. It's flat, so it's like the perfect angle to catch wind. It's like a sail.
It's going so fast.
It is.
It really is. It's clipping through the intersection. And this video is like, as far as I can tell, this is actual speed because like all the cars in the background look right.
Do you think got pulled over for speeding or pulled over for a broken taillight?
Okay, so here's or no license plate, right? Like you hit the nail so on the head, perfect, right?
With the thing I can't say.
Yes, but also this is a yes or no question. Like, it's unclear if anybody is inside. What do you mean it's unclear? What's not clear? You open the door. Is there a person in there or not? Yes or no?
You open the door, you get on the floor.
I'm scared. That scares me that they're so vague about it. Like, was this like, did something happen?
This is trying to cover it up.
Yeah.
This is scarier than, I want to say that we talked about that story of the bathrooms in Tokyo that are clear and
yeah, remember those the translucent glass
and
bathrooms?
you lock them and they go translucent so you can see there's someone in there but you can't see what they're doing.
Yeah.
A wonderful producer, Ryan, just said they probably didn't want to open the door. I'm sure the interior was equally unclear.
You guys are hitting home runs in the chat, but yeah, like I'm
It's a
just
home run. It's a
imagining
home run
like
derby.
it's a home run derby. It's just like I wish any of your of our contributors, if you have anything you want to add, throw it up in the chat, or if you want to call in to
if
WMSC
you're
right now, if you've been in a porta potty that's gone down the highway, you
or
can call in.
I think my worst porta potty experience was
Any of them.
Central Park when we went to Global Citizen. There was no hand sanitizer.
Oh, that's disgusting. Also, shouts out if you want to go on our socials, WMSC Radio. You could add us with your best toilet-related puns.
Yeah, we have
about
a
toilets
Twitter.
flying
we have
down the
our,
highway. You've had ample time to think about it now.
We have our Twitter. We have our. This will be going up on YouTube later. So if you'd like to, in the comments,
leave it in
drop a
the
quick
comments
pun.
below.
And then, look, this is
awesome.
If
I
there
could
was
watch
someone in
this. I
there-
need this as a screensaver.
if there was someone
this
in
really
there,
made my day.
if this
This
was someone
is-
in there, I'd be horrified. But
Yeah.
like watching it, it's just like you gotta imagine someone's doing their morning commute or their afternoon commute. They're driving. You're groggy.
Yeah.
You know, I was doing my commute this morning. I'm just like, whatever. You know, I got into some existential thoughts about my life and where I'm gonna go after.
As
college.
one does. As one does.
And like it has to brighten your day or at least like wake you up for a half second just seeing a porta potty like coming down Pompton Ave down by
God, no.
down by the Dunkin' Donuts and where the dealerships are. You know where I'm talking about, by the tuxedo store.
But by the
doing
way,
15.
if you guys we only got a couple minutes left here. Do you have any, first off, closing thoughts on toilet on the highway?
Highlight of my day.
Highlight of your day? Likewise.
I just have to say, you know,
Go ahead.
Go
Go ahead. No, I'm excited. Go
I'm
ahead.
laughing at my own joke. You know when you get a run on your underwear because you're like some people do because they're not clean and they don't take care of themselves.
Because they're disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, that toilet paper, that porta potty really left a run on that street. It's
On
just like-
life.
it's just
Okay. So first, we need a palate cleanser. Palate cleanser. Hang on, palate cleanser.
what I find is a good palate cleanser.
Hang on. I'm gonna pull up a palate cleanser for us right now. You ready?
Go.
We're gonna have a palate cleanser. You ready for the palate cleanser?
Yes.
Are you ready for the palate cleanser? No, we're not talking about the Pope. The Pope is not a palate cleanser.
Yeah, I feel like
Some people maybe, but not for me. But
I feel like this comment
Here's a
from
palate
Pope Francis
cleanser.
would make me
so for those of you watching on the Facebook chat, it's a puppy. It's a golden retriever puppy. It's adorable. Palate cleanser.
good boy.
Think about puppies, right? Think about puppies. Think about cute things. Think about palate cleanser because we got story of the porta potty. There's no way on God's green earth to segue out of that story.
By the way,
So
a good
palate cleanser.
a good actual food palate cleanser that I personally enjoy is some water, a little bit of lemon juice, some mint, and crushed ice.
Right. That's a good palate cleanser. Or like a little sorbet with like that you get like the fruit kind. It's a good palate cleanser, right? So are we feeling Phil, is your palate feeling cleansed?
My vibes have been cleansed.
Your vibes have been cleansed. Caitlin, is your palate, how do you feel better now that we've cleansed the palate a little bit?
Yeah, most definitely. It's so cute.
It's a puppy. Look at that.
Yeah.
So the reason I wanted to be so clear about palate cleanse coming out of that story is because we need to announce something very cool for College Radio Day, which is coming up real soon. You know, every year we have ambassadors for College Radio Day,
Mhm.
you know, artists that get involved.
Mhm.
And we are now cleared to announce this year's.
Ooh.
Can we get a drum roll, please? It ain't nothing but a good time. It's Brett Michaels from Poison.
Absolutely fantastic.
Brett Michaels from Poison is our College Radio Day ambassador, and it's amazing. The College Radio Day is October 2nd, by the way, so we're in the home stretch. We're getting really close. But College Radio Day is awesome. It's like our Olympics, basically, where we get to show off everything that we've been doing, and it's where we get to go in and do something awesome. But
We get to show
World
a
College Radio
Dream
Day is
crowd.
coming up, and Brett Michaels is our official ambassador. And by the way, we brought the ambassador. WMSC has brought the ambassador for the last 4 years. Just want to leave that out there.
Yeah, it wasn't
Anyway,
who was the ambassador last year?
was it Black Keys last year?
I think I don't remember.
I don't remember who the rest was this year because I'm on this right now. I'm on the fact that Brett Michaels, who is an amazing human being, and I've had the privilege of being able to sit down and talk to, is going to be doing something really amazing. Boss, can I say what he's doing?
They do say every rose has its thorns, but
it was the Black Keys last year. Yeah, I was okay.
But I don't think.
Before that was Joan Jett, who I got to do that interview as well. Boss, can I say what Brett Michaels is doing for College Radio Day for us?
I believe I'm getting a communication from our boss right here on my
okay.
cellular
So
device.
basically, we've gotten the goal to about 10K to raise money for college radio, like $10,000 to keep for a fund for college radios around the world, because a lot of them, especially now during the pandemic, are losing their licenses and losing their their ability to be on air. So we've raised a whole lot of money, and Brett Michaels announced that he is matching that amount.
He's just absolutely fantastic.
He's matching that amount, so we're doubling the amount of money that we've been able to raise for college radios around the world to keep people doing what we do.
Keep people talking about porta potties going down the road, but also.
But seriously, like people talking about like this is the I've heard college radio described as the farm team. This is where we learn how to do what we do, and we get the opportunity to find our voice, find our passion, and use it in a broadcast.
This is AAA ball. This is the NBA. The NBA, I guess they're the G League now because they're sponsored by Gatorade. This is the AHL for the hockey. These are the people that.
This is where talent gets developed. So. It's awesome because Brett Michaels has announced he's doubling the amount of money that we've managed to raise on our own. He said, in this difficult time, there's never been a more important year, a better year for the hope that college radio brings. Is the future of communications, and in a year like this, communication is key. Music itself is the soundtrack to life and helps drive us through these unprecedented times. When dorms and campuses may be quiet, this should be the time for college radios to be going strong. His Life Rocks Foundation will be donating $10,000 in personal Brett grants to participating college radio stations around the world, matching the funds that we raised for the College Radio Foundation. Many college radio stations face severe financial difficulty, and these grants will help them stay open. Literally stay open, like to be able to keep the lights from getting turned off. We've never had an ambassador get this hands-on with us, and he's going to be doing more stuff with us on College Radio Day. We're going to be talking to him more. I'm going to be talking to him more. He's a sweetheart of a human being, and I'm super excited that we get to do this.
Also, I don't know who in our audience and who in the room speaking to me, the room, metaphorically. I don't know if you've watched The Mask, but he was on The Mask.
Oh, he was the banana. He was the banana on The Mask.
He was
Singer.
absolutely fantastic.
He's the singer for Poison. He is the banana from The Masked Singer. He did all the mocap for Guitar Hero 3.
And
it was him.
He is the College Radio Day
Rock of
ambassador.
Love. He's done reality TV. He's been there. He's done that. He's the man, and he's a super sweet person, and literally could not ask for a better person to do this. And then to come out and say he's going to match the amount.
It's above and beyond.
It's above and beyond, and it's awesome. And now we can say that because the press release is out. What's up, baby?
And on that note, you are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This has been the Morning Buzz. I have been Felipe Costa, CVS likes to say. I'm, of course, joined by my wonderful co-host, Tara, and our wonderful newscaster, Caitlin. We're going to leave you guys on this fantastic news. We're going to remind you, of course, College Radio Day is October 2nd. We'll be doing, whether we're doing live broadcasts, whether we're doing anything recorded, we will be on air. We will be putting content out for you. And you'll get to hear a little bit more from Brett Michaels as well on that day. And we'd like to, again, thank him for, being our ambassador for College Radio Day and just such a great, generous donation. But we're going to wrap up here. We hope everyone has a great week. Everyone stays safe and has a great day. And tune in tomorrow for the Wednesday edition. Same time, same place. We'll be broadcasting on Facebook Live. We'll be doing it up on iHeartRadio. And of course, if you're in the local area, 90.3 WMSE. Goodbye.
Bye.